What's up, people? Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. The Premier League is back, and so are we. Arsenal go to Stamford Bridge to renew a lovely rivalry that we've had over the years. You see me rocking the 11-12 season, the 5-3 season jersey. I'm sure you remember that game, X. So I'm trying to get those 5-3 vibes going.
You want me to go get my 6-0? You want me to go
Hilarious. That's great. That's great, Mr. Hazard cheat. Oh, I mean, no, we won't go there.
Because I have that one.
Oh, I'm sure you do. Yeah, but also Man City are hosting Brighton. There is a Merseyside Derby to discuss. Man United go to Sheffield, and Villa hosts West Ham. Should be a good one. And the Gary O'Neill Derby. Bournemouth hosting Wolverhampton. Some spice in that one as well. But hey, go ahead and get the likes up on the video right out from the outset. We're one subscriber away from 100. We're on 99 people. Just one person if you're new. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Let's get into it. X, you're the home team. It's at Stamford Bridge.
Yes, sir.
What are you telling me?
Man, I think it's going to be a good game. I think if what we've shown when we've played these big teams or teams that are above us or teams that are better than us or doing better than us, like Liverpool, I would say the Brighton game, we show up for those games. You know, it's not we play up for them. I'm not saying we play everyone down, but it is in our mentality and in our history to play down. That's been Chelsea's crux since the early 2000s is going into Bournemouth, not taking 3 points. That's why we don't win the league. But then we don't drop points at the Bridge, or we win every game or we used to. The Bridge used to be, it still is statistically, but it hasn't in the last 2 seasons, so it's hard to stand by that. But we don't ship goals at the Bridge. We don't lose games at the Bridge. We do have a sense of pride about us there, and I do think we're up for it. I think we're up to test this new system, this new run that we're on, this group of guys that are kind of fallen into the select 11. I think they're ready. I think it's the Brighton game was a big win, and now I think it's time to put it to the litmus test against teams that we have to be competing with. I know the guys are young, but I do think we compete for this game. I don't think it's going to be a runaway either side. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be a full 90-minute fun to watch game. I don't think it's because of the matchup. I think it's because of the rivalry. We're at home, and we tend to play up against teams this season.
So you think that that was my next question. So you think that the history of the tie might have something to do with it? Because if you think about it, way back when we were knee high to a grasshopper, Chelsea couldn't touch Arsenal.
Right.
Back in the day, into Roman Abramovich, and kind of roles reversed. We couldn't come to the Bridge and even begin to pray for points. Yep. It really wasn't until the Robin Van Persie hat trick and the John Terry slip.
Yep.
That we kind of got one, and we've kind of put a record on it, and it's back in our court. We've won for five seasons running. I think we've won at Stamford Bridge. So we have a great current record.
We lost kind of everything that you just said it, right? Like you kind of hit on it with the Roman era. We lost our people who could play you guys, and we had players that would literally only show up if we knew they were going to score a goal. It was going to be they scored against Arsenal. Like they showed up for this game.
I think Diego Costa in particular enjoyed playing against Arsenal because he knew he could get under people's skin. He knew he could rattle the Gabriel Paulistas of the world.
There was already a rivalry there, so all he had to do was just feed into it just a little bit and light the flame. Like I miss guys like that in our team, I really do. But
I hated him.
I know.
I still hate him.
He won us a league, and
dirty. He was the kind of guy that he's the forward when you're trying to defend him. He's like grabbing hold of your shorts and like pulling your shorts down, and he's like pinching you in the side and stuff.
Just talking.
He's being so annoying.
Yeah.
And not to mention, actually, what he could do as in the game itself instead of just making people mad.
Right. But I do
You
think
don't have anybody like that anymore.
no, not really. Everybody we have is real kind of stand up. I mean, they don't jaw about it too much.
So I've heard rumor that Reece James, maybe? No? Yes? No?
I think he's from the rumor mill, I think he's re-injured.
For real. Oh my god. Oh no.
I think he's been extended another 10 days because of that's what I last read, but I don't know. Again, like fact check that, but I think that's what I saw in the Chelsea like rumor mill.
He heard Martinelli was coming to town. He's like, you know what? Better not.
Better not. I mean, don't come back early, man. Like we need either like that's what I said last season. Like at this point, like I hope Chelsea fans catch on to this. I think I'm the only one saying it, or one of the only ones. Like we should have. I mean, there's a couple, but we should have sold him. Like he's going to be an injury problem constantly. We should have sold him when he had value. And now that if he doesn't come back, or if he can't come back from this stint and sustain the rest of the season, say he comes back for 4 games, he plays amazing, gets injured again. Like
this ain't the game.
Like what? That no.
Martinelli is not the opponent to come back against.
No, absolutely not. And that's why I think the lineup stays relatively the same, the exact same as how we came out.
Yeah, I think that as far as from an Arsenal point of view, it's going to depend on how Arteta approaches it.
Yeah,
because there is the whole Kai Havertz narrative, and I feel like we do keep saying it week in and week out. Oh, it'd be great if he came out and had a game against City. Oh, it'd be great if he came out and, it'd be a cool story if he did this and that, and he hasn't really done that at all, ever. But, this is the game where he might have the chip on his shoulder, where he might be out to prove something against his old team. But it all depends on how Arteta views Chelsea. Is he going to give Chelsea the same respect he gave City and Partey, Rice, Odegaard? Or is it going to be Rice in the 6 and Havertz and Odegaard, which is a completely different approach, which means we're going to be coming at it a bit more. Going to be a bit more attacking. But I personally think he'll go defensive. He'll go with Rice and Partey because y'all created the most big chances, like the most chances. You've missed the most chances as well.
It's just putting them away. Yeah, it's just we lack.
But you've created them,
and that's what frustrates me so much, right? Like if we convert even a third more of these, if we had a striker that converted a third more of these, like we'd be sitting really, really high in the table. And my whole point about it is, like we don't ship goals, so we have both components. We literally are only lacking the putting it in the net. Like we have the cross in, we have the pass, we have the run in. It's literally just putting it in the back of the net, and like that can't be the hardest part. It cannot be the hardest.
It is though.
It can't be.
That is the toughest thing to do.
But that's what I'm saying, man. But when you have, like, maybe in today's game, but when you have guys like Aaron Holland and old school Sterling, and I would say even Diego Costa and Olivier Giroud, like, all you need is a poacher on this squad. All you need is a poacher. And a guy who has a 30 to 40% conversion rate, we'd be so, like, Chelsea's always had that. That's what Diego Costa replaced in Drogba. And ever since Costa, we've been searching for this 9 that we can't find. We did it with Giroud. We filled the role in really well. We made him play a little bit more hold up. Than
Havertz was
no, and that's getting to my point. We tried it with Havertz, and if you do play Havertz in this game, I do feel sorry for you if he sees the field because we know more than anyone else what to expect from him. He is not a changed player.
It doesn't matter if you know what to expect from him. He's not giving it. He's hardly giving anything, so it doesn't matter if you know that he's going to do that.
This is true. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think you can come into this and play a man down, especially in your midfield. Like with our midfield firing the way it is, I don't think you want to do that and play a stagnant midfield. And we know.
Well, who's it going to be?
It'll be
Gallagher,
Enzo.
Yeah.
Probably for the rest of the season. Gallagher has leaps and bounds. Or like some Chelsea, like I hate the hate that he gets, but like
So is it Mudryk or Sterling, right?
that's my question.
So
Is
you're
because
thinking Palmer's a shoe-in,
Palmer's a shoe-in. It'll be
Jackson.
And I want to say Mudryk because he had a better break.
He had a better break with a one. He's got a banger versus Malta.
But
you could score that goal against Malta.
But it's not going to be Mudryk. It's going to be Sterling because of his league form.
I mean, on the left though,
in the last 3 games, Sterling starts this game. He's not sitting Sterling if Sterling keeps playing this well, which I don't think Sterling's playing well. I think Sterling's playing well to the standards that Chelsea is used to having Sterling play. In no way, shape, or form, I think, is Sterling playing what we can see out of Raheem Sterling, which is the frustrating part. Well, we have 4 good games out of him. We're very happy for that because we need it out of him. He's the second highest paid player on our whole roster. So, yeah.
I think that if we play for the very first time this season, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, it's done. It's dusted. It's a done deal. And y'all aren't gonna sniff the ball. You're not gonna even at home. I think that the days where Arsenal are gonna come blam people are just gonna come 3-4, 5-0. Those are gone. I do think that we'll dominate the game, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna be a goal fest. I think we're gonna nullify you completely, like we did City, if he plays that way. It'll be way more open if Havertz is in the 8. And I think that Enzo could probably do a job on Havertz. No problem. But if it's the front 6 I just mentioned, I think we walk. What you saying, Lewis?
I'm looking at the injury stuff, right? Because I wanted to see, because I didn't see any new news on Reece James. They have him doubtful, which, I mean, he's not going to play anyway.
He's not going to. I would not start him in this game.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he's on the bench, but I think that's just for spirit, not like reality.
Right.
And then it looks like the rest of the guys are out for longer periods. So that's the only real change that they have. I think Chelsea's form is decent. I think because they're at home, maybe Pochettino sees this as an opportunity to kind of go for it. I'm struggling to see Chelsea beating Arsenal. I'm just looking at form, right? I mean, I think the best result Chelsea can get, I mean, obviously is a win, but in my opinion, the best result they'll get is a draw. I don't think they'll get a draw, though. I think Arsenal will beat them probably 2-1. But I think it'll be a good game, and I think it'll be something that builds momentum for Chelsea going forward. Because the thing about it is you look at it and you say, well, have they made progress? And I think as long as they play up and they're in it for the most part, I think that's – I know moral victories don't count on the score sheet, but,
right.
Chelsea needs those. You need to have that spirit because they haven't had the spirit. So in this case, I think a moral victory could matter. So if they can get a draw, obviously they'd want to win. But I think a draw will be a solid result, even though I think it's still 2-1 Arsenal.
I agree. I think that a draw for Chelsea would be a fantastic result, to be honest with you.
I think this game's going to go – obviously it can go a number of ways, but I think this game goes one of 2 ways. If we score first – and I'll preface this, if we score first, we win this game. If we score first and early, we win this game. Because you're not going to have anything at the bridge would be explosive if we score first.
So are we.
I just don't see I see us we can play defense. That's not our issue. If we score
but you haven't come up against anyone that scores like we do. Liverpool was the first game of the season. They weren't really clicking. Besides that, you've not faced.
I think Brighton have outscored y'all, have they not?
Yeah, but that was a cup squad.
And I don't think Brighton defends as well as Arsenal does.
Yeah, I don't see you scoring a goal. I don't think Chelsea will score.
I think it'll be a counter though.
No,
I think they have speed. They're fast. I think
Rice and Partey. Come on, Rice and Partey locking stuff down.
You can believe it. I think they have enough speed on the wings to move very
I
well.
think that if it was me, I would, because I mean, conventional wisdom when you play Arsenal is attack Zinchenko, right? But Cole Palmer's not the speedster. He's the cut inside kind of guy, whereas Zinchenko is. That's where he lives, So I'm interested to see if he does play Sterling on the right and Palmer on the left, or if he does a crazy one and Palmer sits and it's Mudryk and Sterling. And maybe Gallagher sits and Palmer's in the 10. But I just
Gallagher's
think
probably going to get the armband.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Man.
Yeah. Well, I'm very confident. We have a great record in recent times at the Bridge. I remember last season's 1-0 was a fantastic performance, complete dominance. Y'all weren't in it at all. And I worry about, okay, Gusto's probably coming back in, you think?
Yes.
Saka's been resting for 3 weeks.
Is he healthy?
Yeah, he's healthy.
Yeah.
He'll play. Martinelli, man, yeah. The first time this season we're going to see Jesus, Martinelli, and Saka. Yeah, they're going to be cooking. I've got 2-0. Dominance. Total dominance. 2-0 to the Arsenal.
1-0 to Chelsea.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't wait for the hard pick.
The hard pick.
I'm telling you, we're going to score early. We're going to score early.
Hey, Jake, what did Patrick pick? I'm curious about
Patrick said 2-2. Patrick, I knew X would pick a win and Patrick would go with a draw.
No. We gotta back the boy. This is
a bit more humble.
It's a London. I'm picking
it's the Cup
boys.
Chasers Derby, baby.
What are you talking about? I'm picking the boys.
Yeah, man. You're picking the losing side. Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm even going to the spot to watch the game at 12. Like I'm going to the spot. And
it makes it so much worse when you pay money and get a sandwich and a beer and then you lose 4-0.
It's gonna be a bunch of us there. No, we're not gonna lose 4-0. It's not gonna happen, man.
No, I doubt it'll be 4-0.
If it is, I swear I will not be on. You will not hear from me for probably 2 weeks. I swear you won't. I'll block you on everything.
I get it.
For 2 weeks.
No, we'll call you out. I'm gonna put a picture. I'm gonna put your picture in the bottom of the screen, and you'll be here. You will be here. Whether you're actually here, you'll be here.
We get 4-0. I would be.
Oh yeah, I'm love it. I'm here for it. You got a score, Lewis? What you think?
Yeah, I said 2-1.
2-1. That's right. You did say that. 2-1. Yeah, I just think that I think I've heard some interesting debates about whether or not Pochettino is a better manager than Arteta, and I think they're very similar. But I think Arteta has improved mightily this season, and over the last, say, 12 months, 18 months, in the way he recognizes what to do. I still think he sometimes makes decisions a little bit too late in games, but I just think we're at the moment going to be way too much for this Chelsea side. I think that they have yet to come up against a team that is going to dominate the ball and dominate the midfield. X, you say that, get the 1-0 Jose Mourinho style, park it. I don't know if you've faced a bombardment like would come if that were the case. I don't know if y'all have. Okay, you've only given the third least goals, in the league. You've only given 7 goals all season.
Right. That's the heart rate. I hate.
That's commendable, right. But yeah, without any lethal finishing, you're not gonna create 5, 6, 7 chances against us. You might get 3.
That's what I'm saying. If we have to finish, and I know we're gonna get one early. I know we are. I know we're gonna come out hot. I know those boys are gonna come out gunning for one. If we put it away, it'll change this. If we don't put that away, because like you said, we're only getting 3. We're only getting 3 or 4. And I'm telling you, we have to put that first one away and get the Bridge on our side and believing that this is possible. it'll change the trajectory of this game. If it's a grinding
I don't
game,
know.
I do see y'all winning.
I think for your prediction, the 1-0 to Chelsea to come true, it'll have to be a 78th minute goal where you've grounded out, where you've survived the first half energy, the first half salvo,
We put Mud Dog on for the
and then Mud Dog comes in. Oh, it just does it. Just does it. Yeah. What I'm hoping,
that would be poetic because he chose us over you. Oh, he would be. Y'all would hate
no,
him.
look, X. If Mud Dog comes in and gets the goal, you know who comes in right after him and scores as well? Is Kai Havertz.
Kai Havertz.
Havertz is like, oh yeah.
It's probably just as likely as either of them scoring. So yes, I'll take it.
Yeah, I've got money that says neither of them score.
I'd bet on
That's
that.
a fair prop.
Yeah, I'd bet on that one.
Now,
oh my God.
I would be remiss to not offer the other side because X picked a 1-0. If that were to happen, and I really don't see it happening, but I live in the world that you might as well say something about it. X, what do you think it does for Chelsea, and how does it maybe affect Arsenal? 1-0.
I don't think it knocks Arsenal off any. I think they take it on the chin. They move on. I think it helps us because of this next run we have coming, and it starts right here at home. Like, this is where we drop the ball so many times early in Graham Potter's managerial. Like, this is one of those moments for Pochettino, right? This is one of those moments that Graham Potter missed time and time and time again when he came in. He came up to these big moments. Hey, we win this game, we're still in top 4 contention. Hey, we win this game, we're still playing Europe. We need to win this game because we need the momentum moving forward in the Champions League. Like, we came across these moments, and every time he just could not rise to the occasion, and it made the fan base hate him because we needed those moments. The whole season hinges on those certain games. Like, we talked about that late 90th banger that Saka put in against Bournemouth last season when Arsenal played them.
You mean Reece Nelson? You mean talking about Reece Nelson?
Sorry, yeah. When he hits this late goal and it saves this momentum and this build that you're still running for, and then without that, Arsenal.
No, you're right, because that was the
season runs.
You're 100% right, because that was the only time. That was the only moment last season, if you recall, that I actually uttered the phrase.
Yeah.
That I will not say.
Right. Hey, we might.
After that was the only time I was gassed enough. I was like, yeah, off the back of something like this, we're going on.
And that's what it takes. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. This game for us means that we could be there quicker. We could be there quicker than what everyone's telling us we can be. We want to be back in Europe. That puts us in 7th. We want top 4. That's not. Hey,
it's top 5 this season.
It's top 5 this season. We want top.
So you got an even better chance.
We got an even better chance. But that's what we want. Like, that's Chelsea's standard. That's what their standard has been. That's what Boyley's standard should be as he bought the club. Because Roman, that was one thing. We are a European club. Without that, Chelsea's identity would die if we become a league club again. We do not focus on the league. Romans and it's in the history of it's like Chelsea never won the league before that. I think once in 30. Before it was even, we'd only won 2 Prem.
Nothing significant.
Since the Premier League, Roman holds both those trophies. But again, we focus.
You've won the Premier League like a fair few times in the last few years.
In the last, from 2000 to
30 years or whatever, yeah.
Right. So, we're supposed to be this dominant club, this contention club, and this would put us back into that standing. I think the mindset needs to be that we need to compete with Arsenal. We need to compete with Brighton. We should be competing with Liverpool. And I think it's just one of those moments in the season where we can say, hey, we can do it. We're not that far off. We can grind these points back and finish and salvage this project. Or, the fans. I don't want to see Pochettino I don't want to see that. I like him as a coach. I don't want to see him lose the fans this early because I don't think we're stuck with him. I think that's an easy 60, 70 mil again. If Boyley has to fork it out, he will.
No, you should though. You should stick with him though.
That's what I'm saying.
He's the guy that will develop. And y'all have gone with the youth play. You've gone for the let's develop it and let's win the title 4 years from now. That's kind of what it looks like, right?
It's just
and Pochettino's the youth guy, so you got to stick with him. You have to.
It's just one of those moments in the season where you can lose. It could cause us to lose hope in like, okay, yeah, we're going to finish top 10. Like if we can't compete, if we get blown out here, it's not going to be pretty coming from the fan base side. So we have to compete. I think it does mean more for us, essentially, is to answer your question, Lewis. It does mean more for us.
Would it be realistic for the fans to feel that way? I feel like that would be.
Are Chelsea fans realistic?
Oh my bad.
We want top 4.
My bad.
We think with $1 billion spent in the club and where our ownership was and where we are now, it's not we deserve it. We should be in top 4. The amount of money and the amount of effort that's been put into this squad.
Yo, you should win the league. You spent $1 billion in 1 calendar year. You should be demolishing everyone.
100,000% with you. I agree.
That's a ridiculous sum of money. You should be absolutely wrecking shop.
Yep.
Running roughshod over everyone. But see, the thing is, you spent it in just a hilariously horrifying way. If I would have told you a year ago that you'd spent $1 billion, would you have told me that Nick Jackson was your starting forward?
No, I've been like Kylian Mbappe is probably our 9.
You would have said
Jude
Kane.
Bellingham's our 10. Harry Kane, right?
You would have said, "Oh, we've built a Galacticos with $1 billion." Yeah, but see, that's where it's.
We'd have Rice, guarantee that we'd have Rice for the 100 mil. Easy
but you know, if Poch gets it right, give him 3 years. Yeah. If you guys have that kind of patience.
This is what Arteta's fourth year.
Fourth and a half season, yeah.
So I mean, it takes time to allow a manager to even put his own.
Yeah. Well, here's the last point I want to make. I heard a thing about how sometimes it's hard to beat teams over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? And so maybe there's a little bit of kind of. The swing is on Chelsea's side, kind of the favor, we've beat you so many times, there's no way we're doing it again kind of thing, and my counter to that, my thought was, look at Man City and how many times they beat Arsenal back to back to back to back to back. Look at when Arsenal were just bought the stadium. And our old rivals, Man United, we don't care that you're in the mud. We're going to 8-2 you,
As you should.
Exactly my point. So when Chelsea are in a rebuild and are down in the dumps and in the 11th place and in a rebuild, we should go there and absolutely no mercy 3-4-0 curb stomp is what I want to see. That's not really the style, we're not 4-0 in teams pretty much, anymore these days, but that should be the mentality. It's like, we should absolutely run roughshod over this game, no mercy. We don't care that you're down or that you're not at your best, or it's not it's one of Chelsea's worst teams, or you're rebuilding, whatever you want to say. We should absolutely massacre you guys, just the way it is, man. And, That's why I'm excited. I'm excited about the game. Supremely confident. And I think I think if we come out like I know we can, it's gonna be a long day for you. It's gonna be a long day for everybody, actually, because there's 8 games on the Saturday, and we will move to another really good game in the weekend. Man City hosting Brighton, and it's been a minute. Rodri's back though.
Yeah.
I even hear rumors that old Kevin De Bruyne might be coming back a little bit sooner rather than later. Obviously not for this game, but exciting stuff, Lewis. What are you telling me?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's something where I like the way Brighton plays, and I think City welcomes the challenge. So I think because Brighton is going to come at City, City tends to like teams that play that way. They like when teams come right at them because that means they can play their style. And, I mean, I think just the way De Zerbi has his guys set up, they're confident enough to go straight at City. And, so because Brighton has put some numbers up this season, I know City takes them seriously. In addition to the fact that you have a drop in form, I mean, obviously due to a variety of circumstances, but still a drop in form all the same of the team's play, as well as the sort of the missing boots of Erling Haaland. So, we're just looking at in general where they want to go going forward. I mean, you've come off the international break, and how do the England guys play or behave? Because, hey, they've qualified, even though we all knew they were going to qualify. But it's sort of a different thing of qualifying and then going forward, because I think some of the guys will feel probably a little more relaxed. So I think when they set up, they're looking forward, and I guess they're auditioning Matoma. Say, hey, guy, we'll see you over here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think Brighton is a good team. I think they're managed well. I think Pep had a chance probably to watch the guys and just kind of get guys together. An expectation of what Haaland obviously starts. Alvarez will be out there. I think.
What's up with Grealish?
Well, I mean, his form has been weird. Even when he was in England, he came in as a sub. I mean, he's okay, but I think something must be going on mentally for him. I mean, he normally doesn't get injured, and he was out for a couple of weeks. So, it normally takes a couple of weeks to get reacclimated to the pace of the game and the style. Plus, you have to account for guys coming in to play your position, and it's not where something is just handed to you. So you have to earn it. And so I think Doku has done a solid job so far, and Doku played well for Belgium recently as well. So I
Good
think
for him getting into the team, in the Belgian team. I didn't know that. Yeah.
So I think it's pretty exciting to see a lot of these guys start to kind of round the form. I think this is the part of the season when you're going to really see teams kind of throw the gauntlet down, so to speak, because you want to have a good form going into the Christmas break, even though it wasn't a break, but you want to have good form going in there, because that's when the fixtures pile up, and then you have the FA Cup that just starts to cluster all those fixtures together.
Champions League knockouts.
Right, so you really want to get as many wins as you and as many points as you possibly can at this point.
You've got a little bit of a run as well. It's Chelsea's got a torrid run, but so does City.
Well, I mean, but
it's not easy.
Well, no, I mean, but I said to you before, no games are easy. You don't play games on paper. I mean, unless it's tic-tac-toe, and that's not like a real game. And you look at that and you say, well, I think they like that challenge. I think that the thing is that they're looking forward to that, because the question has been constantly raised, like, well, what are they playing for? Are they complacent? Well, you're playing for history every day. I mean, if we look at sport, you only get 5 to 7 years to cement a legacy. And in that 5 to 7 years, people will determine if you are amongst the greats. Just imagine 5 to 7 years of your professional life is where people will determine whether you were good or not. And you live on average probably 70 years. So 10% of your life is going to determine the legacy of what you do. And so for a lot of these guys, you're asking them to see the big picture of, hey man, this is a now or never. So for example, when you talk about Arsenal, I get, the urgency that the guys have there. I mean, I think sometimes you get clouded by that, but it's a balance of, okay, we've won, but we would like to continue to win. So what do we need to do to win in our way? Because, I mean, Arsenal had a run where they were pretty invincible, right? And they did what they needed to do. And then you had United, who just, kind of set the bar. It followed by Chelsea just really doing their thing. So this is an opportunity for City to kind of write their name in Premier League and English football history. Because if they're able to, find form and start to play well against a top, or I guess a top half, top 10, that's pretty solid. I think it's a pretty solid top half of the league. I think it's good, and I think Brighton is one of those top 10, and I'm excited to see it. I think the back line will have Stones in there. I think Stones is ready to jump right back into where he was. Diaz is ready to have his partner back.
It's a dangerous combo, man.
And we're spoiled for choice because we have Vardiol and Ake, who both are great there on the left side. So maybe that's the four. But then you say, well, there's Kyle Walker, so you kind of try to figure out where that is. And I think
it'll be Walker because to keep up with Matoma.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just looking at it where he still might play Stones. He might play Stones next to Rodri to give Rodri more of a free reign to play more like
Rico Lewis does, kind of.
Right. He might play like Gundogan would have played last year.
Okay, sure.
And so I could see that where it to the eye it might look defensive, but that's where they have the most control. And then it's just a matter of figuring out who goes up front. City is still not two teams. I love the sort of misnomer that it's two teams, but I'm excited. I think Brighton will play well. I think Brighton will get a goal or two. I think it'll be like a 3-2, 4-2 game. I think it'll be goals in this game. I mean, it's in Manchester, so I think City defend their fortress pretty well. So I do believe there will be a win. I think Haaland scores, but I think for him, even though he scored for his national team, there's still something missing for him because even in like the most
it's a certain ginger-haired Belgian.
Well, but even then, like for example, when they played in the national team and Odegaard was playing with them, they still couldn't really do what they needed to do. And Odegaard like maybe a step behind him just because of experience and age. And Odegaard sort of has that same quality, and they're still not kind of producing those things. So, I mean, obviously, De Bruyne is world class, one of a kind.
Well, it was Spain. They were decent in the other game, but the game against Spain was really difficult. Spain just stayed on the ball the whole game.
And I hear that, but it's about how do you insert yourself in the game? Because the criticism that Haaland has is that if someone's not giving him the ball, he doesn't come into the game. He doesn't check in. He doesn't come back. And so you have to understand that. That's something that you're seeing regularly happen. And, if you want to, claim to be one of the best players in the world or up and coming players, you have to, you scoring the ball is hard. It's one of the most difficult things to do, but you have to be able to insert yourself in the game if what you do is dependent on other people. I think Pep will give him an opportunity to kind of figure that out because, I mean, if we're comparing strikers, Alvarez is better at that than him. And obviously, Alvarez has been clinical this year. He is literally building his own legacy so he can move out of the shadow of being Aguero light, right? And I think for him, it's an opportunity as well as for Foden. So,
not to mention Haaland's physical shadow.
Yes, his shadow is bigger as well. But it'll be a fun game. I think City will want to hold Brighton, so just because it'll solidify the confidence mentally as well as like statistically on the defensive end because they don't really let in a lot of goals. But I think it'll probably be something like 4-2 City.
Yep. Final answer, 4-2?
Yeah.
Nice. I myself have gone for a similar scoreline. The Blues are going to take it 3-2 is what I've said. I think that Brighton are going to come here and they're going to try to play. They don't care who they're playing. But I think that it's going to be a back and forth kind of game. I think if Brighton – the problem is if Brighton make 1, 2, 3 mistakes early on, like we know, the kinds of mistakes that we've seen them make.
Yep.
It could get this could be ugly.
Good.
This could get ugly really quick.
Good.
But if they, are solid, say for the first half, first 60 minutes or so, and don't really make a lot of mistakes, I don't think they get blown away. But I think that City are just too much. City are going to dominate the ball with Rodri back in there. The kind of fast breaks are going to be nullified, and that's really where Brighton, have their joy. And I just think Rodri's going to be able to shut him down. It's be too much control of the game, and y'all are going to come out 3-2 winners for sure. And I think your point about building momentum is very important because we talk about everyone's looking at Chelsea's run. Chelsea's November is awful, but listen to this: you play Brighton on Saturday, and then it's I think they're the Swiss champions. The Young Boys is the Champions League team. Then it's Old Trafford, which they're going to probably try to cheat you out of a win again. Then you have Bournemouth at home. All right, you're going to smash Bournemouth. And then it's Young Boys in the Champions League again. But the 5 fixtures after that, Chelsea away, Liverpool at home, Leipzig at home, Tottenham at home, Villa away. It's just a tricky little run.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tricky little November. You've got facing you. So X was talking about litmus tests. We're really going to see how. It's time for City to flex the muscles. I know y'all don't really start slow or whatever. But these next games, like. There could be some stumbling blocks in here. So I think it's very important to kind of kick off this little run with a good performance versus Brighton. I agree. I think Haaland will get on the score sheet. Probably Alvarez as well. But should be a barnstormer. Should be a good game. What you saying, X?
So I had 3-1. I think
the goals.
Unfortunately not. I do think City runs away with this one. I only say 1. Like, I think this game can get out of hand. Like, I want to say this game's going to be 4-5-0. But I know City give up that goal against teams that keep poking the bear and just keep cracking at it, and that's Brighton. I think they're going to play them way too open, man. Brighton, we know, don't deviate from their running gun. And if you do that to City and you get caught out with space in the back, it's over. It's over, and it's over quick because they are clinical. They do finish chances. And Rodri's back. He's going to be ripping and roaring to go, so he's well rested, So
well, he played for Spain.
This is true.
But then he didn't play 3 games before that, so
that's true.
He's well rested. That was just his warm up, so he's warmed up and well rested. You can thank the Spain team for that, but I do think the midfield. I think they're just going to get ran over, man. I think the midfield has nothing to answer for them if they do play them open and don't play conservative, which is hard to do against City. But again, like that's how you're going to end up with a 0-1 or a 1-0. Brighton's going to play them open, and they're going to get punished for it. I don't think Matoma's going to have much to answer for on the wing. I think Thor's going to bang in too.
Excuse me.
Going to give one away to Alvarez or Foden. It can just get ugly quick, and Brighton is kind of that all or none team this year. They'll keep cracking at it. Lose by 6 or win by 4. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we've seen that they can give 6, and it can get ugly really quick. Like
Right.
The last result, the last time they played, it was 6-1. So we've definitely seen it. Patrick has gone 3-2. To City.
Banging game. Yep. I do think it's gonna be exciting. Brighton's fun to watch, whether they're getting scored on or scoring goals. It's gonna go one way or another.
Absolutely
fun to watch. So I do think this game's going to be fun to watch.
Yep, I think it's a perfect moment to remind everybody out there of prediction league table scores there for the listeners on Spotify. Patrick, the reigning champion, has 94 points. Lewis in second place with 94 as well. Tied for first, I should say. I, with that crazy face there, I'm on 90 points. X on 75. Lots of games to go, of course. Lots of points to be had.
Can X get extra points if his heart pick comes through? I feel like you should get something for that.
Who are you asking?
I'm asking in general.
Look at who you're asking.
No,
I'm asking in general.
So I'm going to go ahead and say no. I'm going to go ahead and vote no on that one.
I'll vote yes on that.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. This is not a democracy.
I just
Voting. What's
Well,
this?
what are
What
we
does
doing?
voting mean? No. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But we've all gone for City wins. Makes sense. Should be a fun game though. Absolutely. Speaking of fun games, the Merseyside Derby is always pretty fun. I'd like to say that. Yep. Klopp's been pretty loud about that. About the fact that 14 times out of the international break, Liverpool have had the lunchtime kickoff. He got one of his stats guys to go back and count that they've had the 12:30 game 14 times after an international break.
Oh my goodness.
And some of the guys like
good for the TV, man.
like Darwin Nunez, Alexis McAllister, Luis Diaz had to fly from South America, so they get a day and a half before they get to play. But see, this whole lunchtime kickoff thing, like, why is that such a big deal? It's not like that's early.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Is there something that we don't know about British culture, Lewis?
It's early for us.
Yeah, it's early for us.
3 hours is a nap. That's what I'm calling it. It's
siesta.
You're missing your siesta. And
I guess. So is this rivalry, this derby, is this like a huge, because I've heard some of the content creators, some people on YouTube talking about how maybe this matchup's kind of lost its luster.
It's 14-3 and 13-2. For Liverpool, 14 wins, 13 draws, 2 wins. That's not a rivalry.
Well, that answers that. All right then. The thing is, like, last season, both of these games were fantastic.
That's just like saying us and Fulham is still a rivalry. Just because you're right next to each other, like back in the day.
Man, Fulham ain't rivals with nobody.
But that's what I'm saying. Neither are Everton. Like,
just because Everton are trash this year. What was that, Lewis?
FC Richmond.
Yeah. It's tough to see. I want to, do the whole devil's advocate thing and say that, Everton are gonna, it's the rivalry. If you guys are gonna play one game all season, show up to this one.
They're bad.
They are bad.
God, but they're so bad.
And they have to go into Anfield. Oh my!
It's not going to be a good story, man.
It's not going to be a good story. If it is, this will be the upset of the season. If
I would love it.
If they go into Anfield and win, oh my God!
They have an awful record at Anfield.
I know.
They have a terrible. Was it last season or 2 seasons ago that it was a 3-3 at Goodison? Glorious.
The scores, I got 2-0 Pool last game, 0-0, 2-0 Pool, 4-1 Pool. Oh, well, Everton actually beat them in 21, 2-0.
Wow, my memory's going back way too far.
You got a 2-2 in 2020, and you got a 5-2 was the biggest one I've seen in 19.
Oh, goodness gracious. So that does not bode well at all. That's probably why Patrick went 3-1 to the Reds.
Yeah.
Which makes total sense.
I'm going 3-0 because it ain't no way.
Ain't no way Everton scoring.
Yeah, I've gone 3-0 as well. Everton are definitely not scoring. I think that even Gakpo's been back in training. Luis Diaz. It'll probably be Nunez, Salah, Diaz. Salah's gonna have a field day, man.
My God.
Playground.
My God.
Playground.
Mo Salah. He's been having a hell of a season.
Yes.
Inflate on this one. Stat padding.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is like, I picked you to get the assists, my dude. You get some assists in this one. Let's get Noodles. Let's get a couple of Darwin Noodles goals, some Luis Diaz scores. Yeah. Like, I've only gone for 3 for the sole reason that Everton are going to have the "we really hate you guys" thing going for them.
But that could get ugly. That could get ugly with the card situation this year, though, too. Like, if Everton start playing dirty,
Imagine if Everton go down a man. This could be.
Oh, it could be bad.
They
This
could
could
have
be.
Liverpool could go down a man. They still getting scored on. It doesn't matter.
This could be 9-0 though. This could be awful.
Go for it.
I'm not putting 9-0. That's not my prediction at all. That's excessive. But I mean, if Liverpool will put 7 past United,
That's what I'm saying. They could put.
If Everton don't show up, if Everton have an off day, they're having an off season. They're having an off 3-4 years actually. But if they don't show up and don't come in and put a shift in,
it could get ugly. Ugly. That's what I'm saying. I'm teeter. I'll go 4-0.
They're going to get dominated in midfield.
Yes.
And that's not something you say about Liverpool games. Liverpool don't dominate people.
Every aspect of this game. They will get dominated in every aspect of this game. It'll be 68, 70 to 73% possession just because the other possession is going to be no possession. That's what's going to eat up the other percentage.
The thing is, the likes of Onana and Decore in there in the middle have just been so bad. And these are the guys that they're supposed to be relying on. Like I say, if they don't show up Saturday morning, it's toast. They're having them for breakfast.
Toast.
While I'm having my breakfast.
That's your brunch. Yeah, there, Klopp.
Absolutely, yeah. So
right.
that's the thing. He's upset about the lunchtime kickoff. You guys are gonna walk. Y'all aren't walking alone. You're about to smash.
I think he does that a lot of times to soften the blow of strange results.
Just in case there's some kind of freak. There's no way he's expecting
1-0
to lose to Everton.
0-1 to Everton.
I mean, I think he lives in reality that his team doesn't defend very well, and goofy things have happened. So while I don't think, I'm sure he goes in there, but I think for a manager, everything is psychological. And so if your team is used to sort of doing something at a certain time because you set it up that way, that might affect you psychologically as a manager. He complains about the same things all the time, so clearly it's about him.
Yeah, that's fair. I like Jurgen Klopp. I don't mind Jurgen Klopp.
I like him. He complains about the same stuff. What was that one season when it was the wind, the grass length, the color of the sky, the color of the referees?
I think he probably wrote some of those charges against Man City.
I dropped at least 20 of them.
Yeah. Oh, the one about the grass being too long. Yes, that's Jurgen Klopp's responsible for that one. Absolutely. But I think probably looking at these fixtures, the next best game is going to be the only game on Sunday. Aston Villa hosting West Ham. Yeah. Man, this is a spicy one. This is an interesting one. I thought about this one for a minute. Both teams playing well. Villa's at home. They've just smashed Brighton. West Ham flying high, though. James Ward-Prowse looking good. Antonio's playing well. Paqueta in there. These are two kind of evenly matched teams. You wouldn't expect to say that about West Ham.
5th and 7th.
But on form on this season.
Can they both lose? Because I need them to both lose.
You're just clinging. Just clinging to anything. That'll help Chelsea.
That's how it has to go, man. That's how you
just cling into anything at all.
Well, the last 3 results in these fixtures are all by 1 goal.
I think it's gonna be 2-1 to the Villains. I had that written.
Villa's gonna win as well too.
2-1. Like Jake's saying though, I think it's going to be a fun one to watch on the weekend. For sure.
That's why I expected there to be one more goal. What did you say? You said 2-1 as well, Lewis?
No, I didn't. I think it'll be 1-0. I think 1-0 Villa. I think Emmy is gonna, because of the Messi hype and the fact that there's the rumors that I don't repeat because I don't repeat rumors like that. That his guy is gonna do whatever it is he's gonna do, so he's gonna be hype off of that. Is what I think. The thing is next week, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's Tuesday or Monday.
Yeah, well, that's just.
But yeah, so I think maybe
Disappointing.
Martinez is going to have a game, and I think Villa will be solid against West Ham, 1-0 Villa.
Yeah, this one it intrigues me a lot because West Ham have been doing the sit and counter thing this season, right? But Villa are, arguably one of the best counterattacking teams so far in the league this season. So who's going to break down who? Who's going to have,
You're right.
Villa at home, so you expect them to have more of the ball. Right? Are they going to be able to break down West Ham, who are really good at sitting deep? And what about the moments in the game where West Ham have the ball, because they've shown that they don't mind having possession?
I think they'll be the more attacking team, actually.
West Ham?
I think they will be in this game. And I think that's why it'll be a 1-0. I think they're going to attack more.
I think if Villa give West Ham the ball and West Ham really press on them, they'll get smoked. I think Villa will just pick them off the other way.
Dangerous. Yes. Dangerous on that. Yes.
That's why I think that's what's going to happen. I think West Ham will attack them. Villa will get their goal.
They'll get bitten.
I think it'll be pretty even. Patrick and I both have gone 2-2.
Wow.
For a 2-2 draw. Yeah, I think this will be another really fun game. Back and forth.
I do think it's going to be fun.
Well, that helps Chelsea if it's a draw.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Can I change my pick
to course.
I need a 0-0.
You're going 0-0.
No.
You went from 2-1 to 0-0.
I'm not going to change my picks, but I do need a 0-0. You're right, Lewis. I would love a 0-0.
It helps.
So you're sticking with 2-1.
Stick to the 2-1 because I need the points on the table for the.
But your heart says 0-0. Your heart says 0-0.
Yeah, in the prim, I need a 0-0. Come on.
So
like a 6-6 would be good. Just
that'd be awesome. That would be epic. I would love that. But speaking of craziness, the midfielder for Villa, or it might be West Ham, it's one of the two, Zaniolo. You recall the name? He's just come to, I think it's Villa. He's just come to Villa. He's embroiled in the same mess that Sandro Tonali is in. He's a part of it.
Milan knew, bro.
Dude, Milan totally got one on Newcastle.
Newcastle. Oh, okay.
Well, Tonali plays for Newcastle, right?
Yeah.
He's the main guy. But I've just heard that Zaniolo is facing a ban as well for the same reason.
Wow.
And he's like part of the scheme, part of the whatever was going on.
Sure.
Yeah. And so
is sitting there like
exactly what's going on here?
No, they all found these guys because they're all on Tony's phone. Like once Tony went down,
it's just one long list.
We're like, holy cow!
Oh my god! But X, you're 100% right. AC Milan knew what they were doing here.
100%.
Oh, like what? They knew this was coming down the pipe, and they're like, "We got to get rid of this guy. We got to get this $70 million." Yo, they're laughing all the way to the bank, just dying laughing right now. I think the Zaniolo one was because he was with Juventus last season, and and Juventus just. I guess it doesn't matter where you go.
Italians.
The Italian league, man. Oh my goodness. But having said all of
going to Italy,
probably. He's like looking at that. He's looking at that, going, "Those are my kind of people. This is what I'm talking about."
I'm going to enter.
But having said all of that, it looks like Tonali will be available for the game against Crystal Palace.
Sure.
Crystal Palace go to St. James's Park and are probably going to get mauled.
Yeah, they're going to get punched in the face.
Man. They're flying high right now.
Plus, Eze is out for another month. no Elise.
Oh, they're not scoring.
It's bad.
They're not scoring goals.
3-0.
It's bad.
3-0.
3-0.
3-0.
3-0.
3-0. Hey, I said 3-1. I don't know why I gave Palace a goal.
Yeah, I don't
You're
know
gonna
where that goal is
heartbroken
coming
on
from.
Palace again, Jake.
Own
Now that I
goal.
look at this.
Been through
Own
this.
goal.
We've been through this.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Where are you getting that one? Yeah.
2-0, man.
2-0. Patrick has gone 2-0 as well. I'm thinking that just because none of y'all have given Palace a goal, I'm gonna leave it.
All right. Well, then you're giving them more than them giving themselves because they're not getting the goal. No
Maybe it's a free kick. No, because
An own goal.
no,
an own goal.
no, yeah, I don't know. I'm sticking with it, man. Edward, Mateta, somebody's gonna come through.
Stepping up.
Yeah, maybe the goalkeeper will do something crazy.
Palace is gonna break my man's heart again.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't.
All
Yeah,
last season.
well, with Wolves, but yeah, the problem is Palace just they're gonna go to try to not lose. For one, we know Roy Hodgson, and
Yeah.
you know, and so I don't think it'll be as bad as say the Paris game was or the Villa game because they're gonna try to be tight and compact. Paris tried to play and just didn't even think to respect Newcastle at all, and so they got smashed. I think Roy Hodgson will respect what Newcastle are doing these days a bit more, and so I just don't see them getting anywhere close. Maybe
they're not going to.
I'm gonna give them the goal. I'm gonna give them the goal, but that's all they're getting. That's all they're getting. It's gonna be a long ride back to London from the north on this one. But speaking of the Wolverhampton Wandering Wolves, it's the Gary O'Neill Derby. Time for a little revenge for Mr. Gary O'Neill getting saves Bournemouth, saves them, skin of their teeth. Scotty Parker out here insulting the players. O'Neill comes in, keeps him up after a 9-0, and then gets sacked in a pure straight up Chelsea move.
Straight out of the Chelsea book.
You did really good. You kept us up. You did it. You did literally everything we asked you to do.
Here's the door.
Gone. Oh man. So, and now Bournemouth are awful this season.
Awful.
There's a torrid start, a terrible start to the season, and Wolves coming good. I think we saw in the beginning of the season that it was there. Cheated versus United, played well in that game. Played well in the next few games. Maybe didn't get the results, but they just beat City recently. That's going to be a big boost. I think Wolves are going to have too much. They're flying high, looking good. I've said 2-0 to Wolverhampton. I just think Bournemouth are bad.
Yeah.
Bournemouth are really bad. Wolves seem to be finding their scoring boots. So maybe Cunha will finally score and stop missing. Pedro Neto. Definitely, if he's in there, he's just gonna run the right side. He's gonna dominate. And I think it's going to be a nice little bit of revenge there for old Gary O'Neill. And Patrick has gone 2-1 to the Wolves as well.
Yeah, that's smart. See, I think it'll be a 0-1 to the Wolves. I think Wolves win this game, commandingly so, but they just can't score, man. I don't think they're scoring 2.
Hey, they scored 2 on City. That's the best defense in the league, and they've scored 30% of the goals that were scored against City. They've scored them.
It goes to them. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't see him doing it.
Fair enough.
I was going 1-0, but then I decided to look at the team form, and I looked at Bournemouth 3-0, 4-0, 2-0 win, 3-1. And then I looked at Wolves because I said 1-0. Then Wolves 1-1, 2-1, 3-2, 1-1, 3-1. So I think
They give goals.
it's gonna be a draw.
Ooh.
I
Really?
think Wolves is better than them, but I'm gonna go 1-1.
Really?
I think it's 1-1.
I don't know, man. That would be. I feel like.
And then if I look at the last results are 1-0 Bournemouth, 0-0 draw, 1-0 Wolves, and then 2-1 Wolves. All of them are 1-goal games. I'm gonna go 1-1.
Yeah, see, I went 0-1 to the Wolves.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Wolves. I just think Wolves are.
I think Wolves is better. They're better than them though.
Yeah, for sure. Bournemouth are bad, man. I've watched more Bournemouth games than I probably would have thought that I cared to this season.
Yeah.
I'm just lucky. I've got to watch most of almost every game. I'd say I've watched 90% of the league so far this season. Just been fortunate, and they're not good, man.
But the thing is, and X made a point about where the goal's going to come from. As a City fan, I've seen my fair share. Own goals happen, and I really think that own goals are enough.
Hey, you don't say off the face.
Own goals are enough.
Hey, we'll take it.
So truthfully, it doesn't even matter. They don't have to score. They just need to take a shot towards the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that all. Yeah, I mean that's a play. Like if you
score own goals all the time.
No, if you're too
Is
close.
that what you were gonna say?
No, if you're too close to the byline and you don't have the man that you want to hit, you just smash it as hard and low as you can, hoping that it ricochets off something. Like,
well, yeah, in the league you're playing in.
Oh yeah, you just drill it and hope some.
Oh
some
man, yeah, that
Danny Laceless hits the
that
ball.
beer league in Charleston. Whoo, some doozies, some absolute doozies.
Yeah.
Oh man, speaking of doozies, Man United travel to Bramall Lane, the home of the Blades. Sheffield United. A stern test? Is it a stern test, we think?
No.
Sheffield are going down. Like United get a pass here, and
United
it's
will
so
beat them
trash.
3-0.
It's so trash. United needed to play somebody strong here after the break, and
They're not going to.
They get to play trash Sheffield and just win an easy, have an easy weekend,
3-0.
just to get the hype back up. Right, like Patrick or like Lewis is saying, man, it's gonna be bad. Like 3-0 for sure.
Well, I'm gonna put it like
I'll
this.
go 2-0. Since he went 3, I'll go 2. But
I'm gonna go 3-0, but I'm gonna put it like this because I do like the other side because I like to ask the question just for balance in my mind. If United lose this game,
he's gone.
It's over.
He's over.
It's over.
It's over.
I'm not sure where you're getting this chest for United from.
Sheffield is bad.
They're bad.
Bad.
They're bad. They're going down.
That's why I'm saying if United don't win this convincingly, it's over.
Bad.
United haven't been convincing in months. They haven't been convincing this season.
Bad.
So are United.
But United don't think United's bad.
Now,
what's that got to do with anything?
United's form is 2-1, lost 3-2, 1-0, 3-0, 1-0 wins. They've won 3 of their last 5.
But they have not been convincing in any of them.
They should not have won against.
They beat Crystal Palace 3-0. That was their
in the cup.
Yeah.
And then they turned around and lost in the league. They turned around and lost at home. Palace didn't show up. I could have played for Palace that day. Palace didn't show up to that game. They turned around and then they beat United at Old Trafford. And then Brentford were not good. Brentford pulled a straight Mourinho. Let's score a goal and then be crap on offense the rest of the game, and we'll just sit back the rest of the game.
Well, this is Sheffield. Sheffield lost 3-1, 2-0, 8-0, 2-1. Come on now. If United lose this game,
Answer me this. Can Manchester United break down a low block?
No.
Marcus Rashford might break down a low block.
They still shouldn't lose this.
I'm not saying they're going to lose.
No, because they have enough. We've said it all season. They have enough individual talent. Someone will get
so
through
it's not a puffed out chest. It's that, hey man,
if they if they don't win this game,
Yeah.
I guess.
dynasty, whatever you said.
Era's end.
That day.
It'll be the end of Seven Hog.
That day.
It should be. If not, I'm shocked it already isn't. But
look, Casemiro's out. Varane's out. Lindelof's a doubt. The Butcher's out.
Doesn't matter. They suck.
Oh, that's a half.
Wan-Bissaka's out.
They have no defense.
They have nobody. Regulon might be back.
I'm going to go actually apply for a Manchester United center back position right now.
Yes, you should. You'll get it. You'll probably get the nod.
This is, and not only is Sheffield bad, their injury room has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I've got 1-1. I've got 1-1.
Oh, if that happens,
he's getting fired too.
Eric 10th Hog is out.
If that happens,
he's getting fired for that. If this 1-1.
Oh my goodness.
City nearly laid a goose egg here on this one.
Yeah, that's true. I want to see the look on his face during this game, though. That's priceless. Just that.
Yo, he was 2 minutes away from the axe. He was 30 seconds. He was one stoppage time period away from the axe already.
You played to the whistle.
I'm just saying they've yet to convince me that they're not that they're anything more than average.
Amen.
You know, Marcus Rashford, yeah, he scored a banger for England versus Italy, but that was because there was a ton of space and it was a counterattack.
Results are results.
Thanks to Jude Bellingham. Bellingham set up that whole goal. That had nothing
Jake,
to do with
would you average your way to a Champions League final win?
Of course.
Then wins are wins. All it matters.
Hey man, we've done it. I'll take that. We've averaged our way through
a Champions League final win.
Hey,
yes,
man,
you can't average your way to success in this league.
No, not in the league.
Well,
if United are going to average their way in this league, they're going to stay right where they're at. They're going to finish 10th.
They won't be playing last year, right?
Were they good last year?
They went on a run last year.
They were decent.
They were lucky people were worse. They were lucky Liverpool's gone. They were lucky Liverpool's down. We're down.
They averaged their way there. Next, the previous year, were they good then? No. They've literally been an average team for at least the last 5 years.
We're not banging 18 goals that season, though.
Still average. Average team, 5 years. It's United.
Look, Rashford isn't doing what he did last season. No. They were the team was only average. You know how averages work, right? You have high numbers, low numbers, middle numbers, and it all makes one number.
And their average keeps
there was one high number last season. There was one. Rashford. The rest were low. That's why they have an average. That's why they hit it like a middling ground average. There ain't nobody up here this season. There's nobody doing anything up here this season.
You think we're mid-table?
But I mean, if we're using this point in the season as the litmus of who's wherever they are, let's go back to Rashford last year to this point. He didn't do anything up to this point either. So I mean, we have to look at the whole thing. But Haaland leads the league in goals, and people are like, he's having a horrible season. They average their way to where they are. So for them, average is in top 6, and that's their average. Are they good? No. But I mean, there's a United average and a Sheffield average, and everybody below them would wish to have United average.
There's that right.
I mean, yeah, as far as results are concerned, of course they'd rather have the United's results.
But that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if I get an own goal or if you throw me into the goal with the ball. I don't care. If I win the game, then I win the game.
I mean, a win's a win. I mean,
you're preaching to the choir here. You know, bouncing one off Ake's face for the winner. You know.
So I agree with you, Jake. In complete honesty, I agree with your point that that United shouldn't be getting the banter, but Sheffield is terrible. Now we do know this: bad teams in the league perform like bad teams in the league.
hey, I mean, yeah, I'm with you. Sheffield are awful. I agree. They're
They got
terrible.
8 put on them. 8.
I mean, they're
Eight.
going to get relegated. They're going to get relegated.
8.
That's true. But
And they got 10 injured guys. 10.
so do United. United have 10 injured
Hang on,
guys.
hang on. So do we. Hang on. So do we.
How did we get here? How did we get to Chelsea's injury list?
Guys.
Are you making excuses already? Like, is that what
Yes.
I'm hearing?
We have 10 injured guys.
Excuses for the 4-0 that's coming.
No, there will not be a 4-0 that's coming.
Yeah, no. I definitely think that there's
Maybe
not going to be enough space. There's not going to be enough space for Rashford. Anthony's going to spin in circles if he even starts. Sancho's still. I mean, they're a mess. They're an absolute mess.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Apparently Sancho's getting sold in January. That's
Of course
I
he
think
is.
that's all
It's
that.
a mess, dude. I have 0. I have less than little faith, less than no faith. 1-1. Come on, Blades.
Oh my gosh.
Let's do
if
it.
that happens, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. That would be awesome.
Let's go, Blades. Yep.
Blade.
Well, speaking of another heart pick, Lewis, I've gone for something interesting in the Brentford Burnley game as well.
Doesn't matter because it's Burnley, baby.
Let's go, Vince.
Burnley.
What are you saying?
2-0
What do we think?
to
For
Brentford.
me, I think it's a
2-0 Brentford, huh?
Burnley
I-
leak goals, man.
I think it's a 2-1 Burnley. 2-1 Burnley.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said 2-1 Burnley as well.
They don't pick up points here. There's no way.
Patrick has said he's gone with 1-1. He also said 2-0 to Man United. But I think that Brentford are really struggling.
Haven't kept a clean sheet in 8 matches.
They've been bad. And they just had their dreams shattered in the last match. Scott McTominay dagger, a couple of them. So
Haven't won a match in 6 attempts.
They'll
yeah,
get one here.
it's rough pumpkins for the bees right now, and I just think Burnley are kind of each game they look a little bit more confident, a little bit more settled in what Vince is trying to do, what he's putting forth. They definitely have bought. You can tell, they've bought into what he's trying to do. I do think that you're right, X. They leak goals. They make too many mistakes. Definitely. And you can get punished in this league. But I think Brentford are really, really struggling with having to play out way more than they did last season.
Right.
They have tried to do, the hit it long a little bit this season, but Mbomo's just not Tony.
No.
Wissa's just not Tony.
Right.
So it feels like they're finding themselves having to play out a lot more, being under, having the ball, being under pressure a lot more, and they're struggling. Yeah. They're really struggling. I think that Wissa and Mbomo are good on the counter. The likes of Jensen in there as well for Brentford. But I think Burnley are going to put this one together.
It'd be big if they did.
They've got some good goals in them, man. Burnley have played some good stuff. They've gotten ripped apart on a couple occasions, but Brentford aren't ripping anybody apart.
No.
So I think this might be a spicy one. Brentford definitely like to bring the gladiators, the sword, the shield, the spears. They'll come for it.
Just whip out, yep.
But for a fact, Vince Company ain't worried about that. He ain't a stranger to none of that. So he'll have the Burnley guys ready for sure. And I'm excited about this one. I think Burnley take it, man. Finally get something going.
One
big points if they did.
You said 1-0?
Is that what I said? I think I said 1-0.
You said 2-1. If you can,
I know it's a 1-goal game. Go 2-1. Yeah.
2-1. Yep. 2-1. Excellent. which brings us to, personally, I think, just the absolute barnstormer of barnstormers, the most exciting game. Nottingham Forest hosting Luton Town. Wow, this one, I don't have high hopes for this game. Not going to lie. Oh, you want to sleep on the Hatters? What, Luton's about to break out for a 4-0? Is that what you're telling me?
Sleep on Forest if you want, man. They're going to take advantage of this one.
They should. They should. Y'all over here talking about Sheffield being bad. This is Forest aren't great, but Luton are terrible.
No, they are.
They're atrocious. Patrick's gone 2-1 Forest. I don't know where he's saying Luton are going to score. If Luton can't score against 10-man Spurs,
I'll go 1-0 Forest.
Yeah, I've also said 1-0 to Nottingham Forest.
I'm going 2-0 Forest.
They'll command the game.
Yeah, they'll definitely command the game. I don't think Forest are, necessarily awesome at possession-based, breaking down teams, but Luton just...
They better come to play.
They couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat going forward, first off. Secondly, just the defensive errors. Some of the just sloppiness in defense. It's... Like, I don't think Forest are necessarily prolific and are going to score a ton of goals, but if this is a 4-0 game, it won't surprise me.
It won't surprise me, right? That's where I was.
I wouldn't be surprised if the CSU team beat Luton 4-0.
That's the first one?
Luton are bad, dude.
Our first year, maybe.
Our very first season, yeah. We could probably beat this Luton squad.
Beat that Luton squad. The second season?
I'm going to tell you, man, Luton pissed me off last time out. This made me so mad. Like, I used to like them 3 weeks ago. I was for it. Love the orange kit, the Halloween kit, I call it, the black and orange. It looks great. You guys are terrible, man.
Yes, you did.
What you did against Spurs is a disgrace. They were awful against 10-man Spurs. I couldn't believe it. They let Van der Ven score the winner. Like, it's just, I couldn't believe it, man. So no, I have no hope for Luton. No faith in them at all. I don't even feel bad for them. I don't even pity them anymore. I hope Forest smash them.
Pity the fool.
Yeah, no, you can't have that opopportunity against my direct rival and expect me not to hate you.
I understand. I get it.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I mean, as far as the game goes, like I said, I don't think Forest can necessarily break down teams that well. That's why I've only given them one goal.
Yeah.
And but I do think Forest will take care of business. We've all foregone for wins as well, and that does leave us with the final game of the weekend on Monday. Can Tottenham Hotspur stay on top of the table? That's the question. The answer is most likely.
Most likely against Fulham, yeah.
Fulham struggling this season for sure. Obviously, Postecoglou has them flying high. No Basuma is an interesting fact because of that red card.
Wait a minute.
No, yeah, he took a dive. He got the second yellow for diving, so he'll face a 1-match ban. And this will be the game.
Why are you diving against Luton? Anyway.
It's Spurs, man. They're Spurs. Like, you can. They might be doing good this season. They might have started well, but it's still Spurs.
Still Spurs.
So let's not get too carried away with that one there.
I think they take this to Fulham.
I mean, no hope for Fulham because of no Basuma. Paulinho maybe comes out of the Forest. He's been in the tall grass all season, man. He's nowhere to be found. I think he wanted
to transfer, and no one bought him, so he's
checked out.
I'll head to Saudi next season, boys.
Yeah, I'll be in the desert in January, so I don't even know what's going on here, man. He's not been the same. He's not been that great. Fulham obviously struggling without Mitrovic. Raul Jimenez is not done anything.
Just not
He's
getting
still in the Black Forest in Wolverhampton. You know,
trying
so
to chase down Diego Costa's Wolves that he let loose.
yeah, man. It's not a good story for Fulham. Has Willian really been their best player this season so far?
Sadly,
Yes, and he's
30.
He's the Crypt Keeper's dad at this point. Like,
past the prime.
yeah, man.
Well past it, yeah.
They sold Solomon. You know, Mitrovic is gone. I mean, they brought in Alex Iwobi. Don't get me wrong. I like Alex Iwobi, but Fulham are struggling, man. And I don't think. Did I really put? Did I put 2-1? Is that? I think that's a mistake. Oh, I think I did that. I think I said that just because of Basuma. I think Basuma being out is going to be a big miss for them. But I do think the 2-1 will flatter Fulham. And I think Spurs will they'll probably miss a host of chances and put in a couple. Maybe a Solomon will come in or a Kulichevsky. I just don't back Richarlison to score ever.
No,
really.
No, you can't back the pigeon.
You know, it's kind of a surprise when he scores. But yeah, Patrick says 3-0 to Spurs.
I was gonna go 2-0.
I'm going.
I'll go 2-0. Yeah, instead of 3. I don't think they have 3 in them, man.
They definitely got 3 in them.
I got 3-1 because they are in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
It's fair.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah,
it is at home.
At home, I just can't bring myself to like think they're gonna be that good. They're gonna be too good, you know. But
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I just think Fulham ain't got it, man. Fulham don't have enough for this one, and
unfortunately, right? I need them to not be top of the table.
Hey, you and me both, man. You and me both. I'm praying.
Well, the problem with that is it's not going to be y'all because you're not going to win the game. So it can't be you guys.
You keep telling yourself that, buddy.
That's what I'm going to tell myself.
You keep on telling yourself
that. Just actually further. Oh, we're going to help Spurs get a gap. Oh, that's ugly.
That's gross. So y'all need to take a dive.
So we need to take a dive. Let me fold this into Roman real quick.
You need to like trade Enzo to Fulham for the game, just for the week. Just put him in disguise. Like give him a mask and see if he can go play for Fulham this week. Oh man. Yeah, but we've all gone for Spurs wins. It's probably going to be pretty routine. I just don't see Fulham giving too much. Tim Ream, 1 year older. He's having a decent season again, but you know, he's still on the back end, of course. But yeah, there you have it. That's predictions in. I think we can just for a second touch in, speaking of Tim Ream, on the Ghana result. USA scored 4 goals in one game. That's interesting, I thought. And then, of course, Greg Berhalter comes out afterwards and says that Gio Reyna has just been doing so great. He admires his courage and the fact that he's what? Oh my goodness. But yeah, you love seeing USA beat Ghana 4-0. That's a fantastic result, even if it isn't a friendly. Honestly, my favorite thing about the game is that Thomas Partey remained healthy, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think that bodes well going forward, that we show it in patches, right? If we put it together for 90 minutes, we can beat teams. We can sometimes win games.
Yeah.
You know, so credit USA for that. The next games are going to be more important as far as our what we're doing in Copa America and how we're placed for World Cup seeding. I think because of the Nations League, there's something going on with Nations League next time out, and there's games that are actually going to mean something. I think it's towards the Copa America, but But yeah, definitely good to see. I don't like Ghana very much. Obviously,
Yeah, you got some bad blood there.
old rivals, some bad blood for sure. So it's good to see us get the win. But speaking of wins, England come back to smash Italy in that second half. Rashford with a good goal.
Big goal. Bellingham, huge run. God, he looks so mad. I mean, you want to go play for Madrid?
Clinched the qualification.
So
yeah,
good.
Jude Bellingham, dude.
So good.
He's good.
So good.
But I mean, it kind of set up the way we thought, anyways, because Italy lost, and now their fate is in their hands.
And then what did I tell you? What did I tell you? I said Ukraine qualifies in this as second place. I called it. I'm calling it again. Ukraine qualifies second place because of that.
Italy has 2 games, and one of them is Ukraine.
One of them is the Ukraine.
That's game. A big one. That's a big game for sure. For sure. You know, speaking of Bellingham, he's looking great. He's matching Ronaldo numbers at Madrid. Huge start. Kind of, you know, revolutionized this England team a little bit, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Is he carrying Southgate? Are the performances that these guys are putting in?
Oh, yeah.
Like every other game,
right.
You guys look super sharp, like every other game, kind of. Are they kind of keeping Southgate in a job just by they look really sharp?
Yeah, because there's so much talent there. I do. You're onto something, yeah.
But I mean, they're supposed to do that. Like, I mean, I was watching.
It's not supposed to be a hard job, right?
I was watching something, and you know, there's always the talk of a golden generation, and you know, the golden generation, for example, from England in the past, and not doing anything. This collection of English players might be the best players they've had in decades.
They're better.
They have for sure one of the top 3 strikers in the world. And then they for sure have some of the best young players in the world that are like top 20 players in the world.
I feel like only France's front 4 match their front 4.
Yeah. And so there's literally
where France wins that battle is the defense.
Yeah. Yeah. Their defenders across the board. They're better
right.
Because Maguire is
Maguire and Shaw is Shaw.
Here's the thing for me with like the front line. So Mbappe is clear of everybody, sure. But then it's Kane. Then it's Saka. Then it's Rashford. I mean, I know Ousmane Dembele is probably
if he's healthy
the other side. But is Dembele better than Saka? I'm not taking Dembele over Saka.
I wouldn't pick Dembele. No, absolutely not. Saka has way more consistent numbers than Dembele.
And other than France, like who's got a front line like that? Let alone Europe in the world. Maybe Brazil.
This is England's chance. Like
this is England's time.
Really, realistically, I mean, it's in Germany, the Euros, but they really, really should walk this. They should make it to the semifinals, minimum finals. And
there's just nobody.
If the final realistically would be, I mean, it's either the hosts, which I don't think Germany are that good, but they're in pretty good form right now. But it's either the host Germany or France.
Yeah, Rudy. Shout out to my boy Rudy hitting a banger as well during the international break.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, I don't know. Germany. Okay, yeah, being at home, that's big.
I think being a host matters, you know?
Yeah, that's big for sure. But it's England's tournament to lose for me.
Yeah.
You know, they're clear on paper. They're clear of everyone.
If Kane doesn't miss this PK in the World Cup, I believe they're in the final as well.
But even then, the manager got stuff wrong. And like, for example, like I know a lot of English media and stuff like that have been getting on the English fans about disagreeing with the selection of Jordan Henderson. I mean, I wouldn't boo the guy, but he doesn't. I mean, I don't see how he qualifies to be in this team. There's no reason for him to be in the team. That's a spot that I can think of a handful of English players that literally would fit in and give them some dynamism that would make them insanely good.
But the guy that came in instead of him let's face it, was terrible. Calvin Phillips did not look good. So I mean, who?
Well, I
I got
don't
the answer.
see why
I
they.
got the answer. I
I don't
got
know
the
why they
answer
play
for
two
you.
sixes though.
It's Conor Gallagher, baby. Shove him right in.
But I don't get why they play two sixes. I don't get that.
That's a shout, but they don't.
'Cause
They don't have any sixes. That's the problem. Who is your English six besides
Rice.
Calvin Phillips?
Well, I
Right?
mean,
Rice,
you're gonna
yeah,
play
Rice.
there, but then next
Rice
to
and
Rice,
Gallagher right next to each other with
but
Bellingham
you
up
don't even
and
have to
Bellingham
do
in the
that.
middle.
You literally
Look, the best English midfield three, unfortunately, is Rice, Madison,
And Bellingham.
and Bellingham.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, if you want to push those
Oh.
guys forward, John Stones is sitting behind them. I just
He plays midfield anyway, like 90% of the league games.
I would not hate Rice, Stones, Bellingham.
But there's no reason for Henderson to be in the team.
I agree.
You're right. I would rather Stones over an aged Henderson.
And I mean, I know.
But if you look at it, how many leaders do you have left in that locker room if you leave somebody like Hendo out?
Kyle
Kane
Walker
and Walker.
Yeah, Walker,
Stones.
Kane, Pickford,
Walker, Cade.
Jordan
Oh,
Pickford
yeah,
could be the
Pickford. Oh,
leader.
yeah, I forgot Pickford. Yeah, Pickford's up.
There's no reason he's in the team. I don't understand why he's in the team. I'm not hating on him.
But he doesn't deserve to be booed. Like, it's not.
Yeah, no, that part is ridiculous. But I mean, no.
I do think that they are keeping him in a job, though, Jake. I think that they have better managers at their disposal, but I do think they're keeping him in a job because Lewis is kind of hitting on. These guys they know this run that they have is really right. It's
Especially Harry Kane.
This is it.
right. And if if he's going to win a trophy, well, he'll win one in Germany. He'll win a bunch in Germany.
But this is it.
But this is it for international. Yeah, he wants to take some stuff home. He can fill his trophy case in his last 2-3 years of his career. Like
This is it.
he should have hit that PK, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, I think he makes it to 2026, Kane.
Yeah, for sure.
But is he guaranteed like every single second of the World Cup at that age?
I
Depends on who.
behind him.
He'll be 33 there. He'll be 33 in 2026, 34 in
Oh,
2026.
But at that point, he'll be a target man, and he's holding up the ball for Bellingham and Foden and Rashford to run on him. I mean, and he can still do that.
Saka.
Oh
My goodness! Yeah.
I mean, they had Peter Crouch who did that. He
Yeah.
can do that. He can be Peter Crouch.
That's fair.
And then who will be behind him? Tony will probably be behind him. Who are the other English strikers here? You got Ali Watkins.
Callum Wilson.
Yeah, they're going to be guys behind him, but I think Kane is one you keep in. So I can see him in the next.
As long as he can go, yeah.
Legacy pick, yeah.
The legacy pick.
But he makes sense as a legacy pick as a striker. Like Ronaldo makes sense as a legacy pick because he still scores goals.
Right.
Yeah.
But what is Jordan Henderson doing?
Yeah.
Because he's just going to
He's
get
just
run
a legacy pick.
people.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's just a legacy.
People. Making sure you run in practice.
I was about to say making sure the boys are locked up in their hotel rooms when they need to be. Like,
Yeah.
Hendo follows the rules. Like
He'll come get in someone's face for it. He's gonna come. He's got your back in a fight.
Yep.
But my thing is the reason it's a thing. He's playing in Saudi Arabia, which I'm not saying. Not someone I think. Conte came out recently and said that he would rate the top 5 of the Saudi league equal to the top 5 of League which I can't actually disagree with him on that.
I wouldn't. I haven't seen many Saudi league games, but from the highlights I've seen, there's no defending, and I think that's a little bit disrespectful to Ligue 1.
Name 5 teams in Ligue 1 in the top 5. Name their top 5 teams. Because I got
it's Paris,
and I got Monaco, and
Marseille,
Lyon.
Leon.
What's
say Lens because Lens is in the Champions League.
Well, Lens are having a torrid
But that's what I'm saying.
to the season.
Florent.
But Lens is a decent squad. They finished second last season.
Well, this is not last season though. We're talking about now because we're using the Saudi league for this year too. because the current table in Ligue 1 is Monaco, Nice, PSG,
Nice.
Reims, Marseille, Lille, and the middle is just really the middle. It's
Yeah. I don't know. That'd be interesting, and I'm sure the Saudi league would love to be able to be in like a showcase or some kind of league where they get to play.
Buy him
it's
put him in the
coming.
Champions League, man.
You know it's
put him in
coming.
the champs.
You
Put
know
him in
it's
the
coming.
champs.
Give him a spot in Champions League and
put him in
let
champs.
real quick.
Yeah, put him in champs.
Let Al Hilal get into Newcastle's group.
We put the Turkish league in champs. Put him in champs.
Instead of Newcastle, it's Al Hilal, Paris, AC Milan, and Dortmund.
Welcome to champs.
Welcome to Europe.
Welcome to Europe.
Cristiano will be salivating to get.
Oh, he would love that.
Oh yeah. My God, yeah, they'd get smacked. They would get smacked up. Oh man, yeah. What's interesting about it, though, is that Saudi Arabia team in the World Cup was one of their clubs. It was like the whole club team.
Oh well.
Yeah, which is why they gelled so well because they play together all the time, Yeah. But I've also heard that there are hardly any crowds at the Saudi Arabia games, and the overall general level of play is just not there. And that was one thing about Henderson, is that the rest of the guys in the English team week in and week out are playing top tier, top notch opponents. Tough games every single week in, week out. Bellingham is crushing it at Madrid, and Henderson's playing against Al Nassr.
Right.
So I just, even Calvin Phillips is getting time against tougher opposition. Even though I don't. Maybe he needs to move away from City. Maybe he needs to get. He was decent at Leeds.
They basically said that he needs playing time, and I get he's looking.
Yeah, just loan him out, man. Yeah, that's what I would have done.
Yeah, especially when Pep's not picking him in big games, and he'd rather play without a 6 than.
I mean, but at some point, Pep sees him all the time. And if he's not doing what needs to be done there, then why would you put him in the game?
Yeah, fair enough. Well, yeah, England looking good. Yeah, they should win. They say that all the time. We say that every time it comes around to a big tournament. It's England should be doing it. And they should be winning this upcoming tournament. We'll be there. I'm excited. We'll definitely be around for it next summer. Maybe we'll do some live watch alongs, since I won't have a dog in the fight. I can't really do Arsenal watch alongs yet because I freak out way too much.
Yeah.
So maybe one day, but yeah, we've got all the previews in, all the predictions in for the upcoming Premier League weekend. I'm absolutely pumped. Should be a lot of fun. Go ahead and get the likes up on the video, obviously, if you have liked the video. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Guys, we're on 99 subscribers.
One more.
We need one more. Just one more to get to the magic triple digits.
I'm backwards. Is this the 1 and the 0? I don't know which is the 1.
We'll go with it. It looks fantastic. It looks fantastic to me. We are almost there.
100.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, like I said, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. It's been the Cup Chasers podcast. Hope you have a fabulous evening, and you will see us next time.